No, but like, okay, so if you've ever watched my videos for any length of time, but especially if you were there in the trenches with me during the Riverdale era, you know that I was a big old theater kid in school. Like, I was in varsity show choir, I unironically watched Glee for like the first 2 seasons, but then I kept watching the rest of it, but like ironically, okay guys, I swear. So when Wicked burst onto the scene in 2003, 2004, you better believe I was there listening to that CD every single day. I was watching the 2004 Tony Awards when Best Musical went to Avenue Q. For some reason. But also, I was there when Wicked became literally every theater kid's entire personality. You know all the kids in school used to quote like Borat or Family Guy or whatever? Like imagine that, but it's the worst kids you know belting out one short day between classes. It was a horrible time to be alive. But so finally, in 2024, the movie version of Wicked came out, directed by the guy who made Step Up 2, The Streets. And you know, even before the movie itself came out, this movie just had the most insane pre-release news press I've ever seen. So like way back before the movie came out, there was so much happening, okay? So Ariana Grande joins the movie in like 2021 and then celebrates her 2-year anniversary with her husband in early 2023. You know, normal stuff. And then July 2023, she's filing for divorce because now she's dating this guy. Who is also divorcing his wife now. Ariana loves being with Ethan, a source told People magazine in December 2023. It's a very normal relationship. What a thing to just like say, you know? Yeah, we're dating and actually it's not that weird, okay guys? So like one of the first things anyone learns about Wicked is that this movie caused 2 marriages to collapse. Ethan Slater's wife is just like, you cheated on me and now you're leaving? For who? Who is she, Ethan? Huh. Well, shoot, how the heck did you pull that off? Which is a little on the nose given the story of Wicked itself, but you know, sure. Hey, maybe he's really funny, I don't know. And then in late 2024, before the movie comes out, Ariana and Cynthia are doing the usual press tour stuff everyone does. You know how it is. Wow, holy Ozempic, Batman. But then it starts getting really weird.
So that's a special moment for us, but I was just trying to keep the space as warm as possible for...
What is happening right now? But then this just like becomes a thing that they keep doing everywhere they go. Ariana just like cold-blooded murders Ethan's wife, steals him away, and now she and Cynthia are just like, whatever this is. Apparently they have 10 matching tattoos. But okay, so the movie finally comes out to rave reviews. Everyone's obsessed with this movie, okay? Especially the Sapphic girlies, because like, oh my goodness, y'all are going insane with this one. But that being said, finally decided to check it out, and wow, what did you believe? I have some thoughts. But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Raycon. Well, it's 2025. The 21st century is almost 25% over, and I ain't got no Rosie the Robot yet, no flying cars. All I have is just heartburn every other day. The heck are we even doing here? Well, hey, this is totally definitely gonna be your year, okay? The year you finally go to the gym, like once. The year you finally break up with that bad boyfriend slash girlfriend for longer than a week. The year you finally break out of your comfort zone and then realize that it actually sucks, and then actually you're never going outside ever again. And all of these can be made better with some Raycons. 2025, the year you finally buy some Raycons and realize that, yeah, you know, they are actually pretty good. Raycon earbuds, same great audio quality for half the price? There's no way that's legit. Well, yes it is. Quick charge, 10 minutes of charge time equals about 90 minutes of usage time. And with a full battery life of 32 hours, you know how many times you could listen to the same 4-minute song over and over again on these things? Multi-point connectivity. You can use one pair of Raycons with 2 devices at the same time. Go from your phone to your iPad and back as many times as you want. Active noise cancellation, weather protection, the list goes on. No joke, I literally wear them every day at the gym while I curse my aging body and my ever-impending sense of mortality. But hey, the music sounds great. So if you want what I think is the best deal in earbuds, or even if you already have a pair of the original everyday earbuds, you gotta try out the new ones, my dudes. Click my link down below or just go to buyraycon.com/Myers and you'll get 15% off your Raycon purchase plus free shipping. Okay, back to the show. Okay, so the movie starts out with everyone singing the praises of the death of the Wicked Witch. Glinda, the good witch, shows up to just like hang out, I guess.
It's good to see me, isn't it? Fellow Aussians. The Wicked Witch of the West is dead.
Oh, Kelsey wanted me to chime in here and say that Ariana cannot pull blonde off whatsoever, and she just looks weirdly ghoulish in this movie.
Glinda!
Yes.
Why does wickedness happen?
That's a good question. One many people find confusifying. Are people born wicked? Or do they have wickedness thrust upon them?
So then the story wraps back to the birth of the Wicked Witch, Elphaba. We learn that her mom was cheating with some like faceless, nameless stranger who gives her a mysterious green potion and then wham bam bibbidi bow, what do you know? The baby comes out green and everyone's like, huh, that's weird, even though the nurse is a talking bear, but sure, okay. So fast forward several years, it's Elphaba's sister Nessa Rose's first day at her new university. Oh yeah, also the name of the university is Shiz. Shiz University. But okay, so the book Wicked came out in 1995, which is a little before Snoop Dogg became known for the whole, like, faux shizzle thing, you know? Although, putting izzle in the middle of words was a thing back in the 80s, like with the 1981 Frankie Smith song Double Dutch Bus, which I will not play here for obvious reasons, but you can check it out yourself. But I'm willing to bet that the author, Gregory Maguire, was not real hip on the 1980s Harlem Double Dutch scene, okay? Just a guess, maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, so everyone's getting settled into school, and Elphaba's just there, like, helping her sister out. You know, this was actually pretty much what my life in Japan was like, okay? Because like, I have really dark hair and weirdly blue eyes for some reason. So from behind, people had no idea about my dark secret of being a white guy. And like, no joke, sometimes I would turn around and people would be like, I've been bamboozled.
What? What are you staring at? Do I have something in my teeth?
No, it's just. You're green.
I am.
Okay, but like, you know that there's gotta be at least one dude in this crowd who's like, hey, between you and me, I've actually always kind of been into green girls myself. Anyway, so everyone's being all weird about Elphaba because she's green, and this leads to this lady, like, taking her sister away.
Father and sister.
Oh, the governor made his concern for your sister quite apparent.
Wait.
Please assure him I am honored to help her.
Well, she doesn't need your help.
Stop, I just need to.
She can do it alone.
Please, you don't understand.
Oh yeah, sorry. Also, Elphaba has crazy Stranger Things magic powers that happens when she gets mad. Now, like I said, Nessa Rose is here to go to school and Elphaba is not. However, upon seeing all this, the headmistress of the school kinda sorta takes an interest in Elphaba.
And speaking of the unexpected, which of you would volunteer to share a room?
Madam Marble,
Thank you, dear. That is very good of you.
what?
And so Elphaba is led into the school and forced to room with Galinda, the girl from before, you know, who's like, wow, you're like green? I feel so bad for you. Which, like, what a thing to just say to someone. Anyway, so Elphaba's feeling really good about all this because this is the first time in her life that someone has finally seen her as her and not just as like a green weirdo.
Something just takes over me. And when it does, bad things happen.
If you can learn to use your powers in the right way, Miss Elphaba.
However, she has to room with Kat from Victorious, and we all know how that's gonna turn out.
I was just gonna close the door.
Oh, well, could you not? I'm sorry. I so enjoy air. You know what I mean?
What is happening right now? Why is she being so weird? I will say, Ariana's quite good in this movie. Like, she's really good at the comedy bits, you know, just like being this like really extra character. Whatever she's going for, she's pulling it off pretty well. And so then we get the Loathing song where it seems like they're gonna sing about being in love, but then they actually hate each other for reasons. But man, when I tell you that the Sapphic girlies have just run with this number. I've seen Wicked on stage, and I feel like it's pretty obvious that this is just like a love-hate friendship thing. But to be fair, in the movie version, they really lean into like the, you know, they were just really good friends, wink wink, like it's some kind of AO3 fanfic. And also, the author of the book Wicked is gay himself, so maybe they are in love, you know? Anyway, so then it's time for classes at Shiz.
All right, everyone, settle down, ladies and gentlemen, settle down. Quiet, quiet, everyone. Now then, I have read your most recent essays.
Okay, I'm sorry, hold on, I gotta start second here. So they have a goat that teaches history class, but green skin is too much? This is fine, but this is weird?
Now, you may have noticed that I am one of the last animal professors here at Shiz, and it isn't encouraged to discuss this in our classes, but there have been some great changes throughout Oz with the rejection of animal culture.
So this right here is like really the only semblance of a kind of story that this movie has, which is that Oz used to be a place where humans and animals were equal, and animals were like talking and living life and doing things and stuff. But then, somewhat recently, more and more animals are forgetting how to talk, and they're being stripped of their rights and their jobs and everything. But no one's really allowed to like talk about it or deal with it or whatever, for some reason.
There was a time before you were born when life in Oz was different. When one could walk these halls and hear a snow leopard solving an equation, or an antelope explicating a sonnet.
And like this right here kind of highlights my main problem with this movie. So like the musical version of Wicked is a truncated version of the book, with songs taking up most of the time. If you only see Wicked on stage, then the story doesn't really make much sense. Cause you know, it's people in one room singing about every emotion they have, and really you're just there for the songs anyway, so the story's kind of just whatever. Now this movie version of the adaptation is the musical, which like I said is a Frankenstein version of the book. So somehow with a 2-hour and 40-minute runtime, it has just as much story as the staged version of Act 1, which is 90 minutes long. Like it's basically 3 hours of just stuff kind of happening, but it doesn't really feel connected or weighty at all. Like the characters are not characters, they're just concepts. You know, like later on when Fiyero shows up, the new hot man dude guy in school. Okay, my dude, you are 36. What are you doing here? I'm just trying to relive the good old days, man. So as you can imagine, Galinda falls pretty hard for this guy, or rather, she wants to be with him because it'll make her more popular, but actually she's secretly in love with Elphaba, obviously. And then Fiyero sings a song about how being smart is dumb and you should just coast through life on your good looks, man, because caring about stuff is for nerds. Again, not really a character, more of a concept given physical form.
And this is the book place. There's a collection of, rare books around here somewhere. And some medium rare as well.
So what do you do for fun around here? Have you ever been to the Ozdas Ballroom?
The Ozdas Ballroom? I mean, isn't that place somewhat illegal? And scandalocious.
You know, I'll tell you right now, okay, this whole like fake word mispronunciation thing that this movie does, it gets really old really fast. Like it's cute one time and then never again.
Oh, whoa. You all right? I'm Fiyero, Tigger. Winky Country.
Backwoodsman of Munchkin Land.
Well, shoot, sign me up. Quick, get me those divorce papers. I'm about to give your wife the craziest PTSD of all time. Yeah, so this is Ethan Slater as Buck, who is a munchkin, and he also plays one in this movie. Wow, crazy. Now, he's in love with Galinda, and she's like, I'm ill. However, Fiyero tells everyone to go to the Ozdas Ballroom, and Buck wants to ask Galinda to go with him.
I hope you'll save a dance for me tonight. I'll be right there, waiting all night.
That's so kind. But you know what would be even kinder?
Maybe I could invite her.
Oh, Vic, really? You would do that for me?
Now, this ends up being very important later, but Nessa Rose being in a wheelchair, you know, she just kind of instantly becomes infatuated with Buck, somehow. So, everyone's getting ready for the big dance club party thing.
What even is that?
Galinda, what's the reason?
I know. It's my granny. She always makes me the most hideous hats. I'd give it away, but I don't hate anyone that much.
Mm-hmm. And so Galinda tells Elphaba to come with them to the party and offers to give her this hat that she thinks is hideous. And between this and Galinda telling Bach to ask out Nessa Rose, Elphaba thinks that these are genuine gestures, and so she tells the headmistress to let Galinda study magic too.
I'm confused.
Miss Elphaba has requested that I include you in our sorcery seminar and insisted that I tell you this very night or she would quit.
Elphaba did?
Mm-hmm.
But then, when Elphaba does show up, she realizes that this was all just a big trick, and Galinda wanted to make her dress all ugly and stuff so people could make fun of her, which, like, I'm sorry, y'all are making fun of the coolest gothed up outfit of all time? Like, you're making fun of this hat when you have hair like this?
I'll say this much. She doesn't give a twig what anyone thinks.
Of course she does. She just pretends not to.
Now, Galinda finally sort of kind of realizes that maybe being mean all the time is not cool, kids. You know what's cool? A dog on a skateboard with sunglasses. Nah, I was wrong. Y'all are right, okay? These two were definitely madly in love for sure. And so Galinda and Elphaba are best friends, and Galinda helps her to be more popular by singing the song, Popular.
Now that we're friends, I've decided to make you my new project.
Oh, you really don't have to do that.
I know. That's what makes me so nice.
Now, after all of this, we learn that the goat professor, voiced by Peter Dinklage, has been removed as their teacher, and in fact, all animals are now forbidden from speaking.
It behooves us all not merely to study the past, but to look to the future. This called Cage. Now, one benefit of caging an animal this young is that in all likelihood, he'll never learn to speak.
Now this upsets Elphaba, who somehow casts a spell to put everyone to sleep except Fiyero, for some reason, who helps her save this lion cub and release it into the forest.
You could have walked away back there.
So?
So no matter how shallow and self-absorbed you pretend to be...
Excuse me. There is no pretense here. I happen to be genuinely self-absorbed and deeply shallow.
Oh, please. No, you're not. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so unhappy.
But if you don't want my help...
No, I do.
Oh, Elphaba, you're just turning your back on Galinda like that? You're giving all this up for a boar? But all the same, right that moment, Elphaba's like... And then immediately after this, she sings a song about how in love with Fiyero she is. You know, after touching hands once. Apparently that's just all it takes in this movie. Which, I mean, to be fair, I felt the same way, except I didn't even get to the hand-touching phase. Like, if any girl made eye contact with me for longer than 2 seconds, I was like... However, Galinda is Elphaba's best friend, and Galinda is dating Fiyero. But now Elphaba is in love with Fiyero and Galinda, obviously. And I mean, this isn't just the most AO3 fanfic anyone has ever written. Now, randomly, just out of nowhere, Elphaba gets an invite to see the Wizard of Oz, which is what she's been hoping for her entire life. Like, ever since she was a kid, her dream is that one day she'd get to meet the wizard and he would turn her skin into something that's, like, not green, you know? But of course, Galinda somehow has to just make it all about her.
I am changing my name.
Your name?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. Since Dr. Dillamond used to have his own goat-like way, pronouncifying my name, in order to express my outrage, I will henceforth be known no longer as Galinda, but simply Glinda.
Yeah, so her name is Glinda now, just because. And then she and Elphaba get on the train together to go to Oz. There's a train that goes to Oz? Screw you, Dorothy, you gotta walk the whole way. Turns out there was a train the entire time, idiot. But whatever, anyway, they get to the Emerald City and go to meet the wizard, who turns out is Jeff Goldblum, of all people.
You know, when I'm back there, I cannot make out people's faces. It's so great to me. Hang on, what's that?
What?
I'm so sorry, man.
Sure,
Okay,
yes.
no, it's okay. Well, that's a keepsake for you to cherish for all of your days.
And just to be clear, I don't mean that the wizard is played by Jeff Goldblum. It just literally is Jeff Goldblum. He doesn't even know he's in a movie right now. He's just talking and going way out of his way to not dance.
And you gotta give the people what they want. That's...
I just wanted to give a quick shout out to like the 4 stunt doubles they had to use to make sure Jeff Goldblum did not have to actually dance himself. But like I said, Elphaba's dream was to have her skin changed, but now with all the animal stuff going on, she wants the wizard to help her save them instead. Except, turns out the wizard's the one who's been doing this the whole time to the animals, along with the head mistress of Shiz. What?
It's you. You're the reason why people are turning against the animals. It's all because of you.
We're doing this to keep people safe. All of us will benefit.
Everybody knows that the best way to bring folks together is to give them a real good enemy.
And so this flows into Defying Gravity, where Elphaba comes to realize that her whole life she's been shunned for her magic powers and her green skin, and she thought that this whole shiz thing was finally her chance to be seen and heard and accepted. But it was all a trick to get her to use her magic to help the wizard stay in power.
That's why you need all of this. And you need spies and animals in cages. You have no real power.
Exactly. That's why I need you.
So she realizes that people who hate her will hate her no matter what, and people are only nice to her to use her powers for their own gain. So she decides to stop trying to be who she thinks people want her to be and just embrace whatever she is. And this is the end of Act 1 of Wicked. So like I said earlier, for the almost 3-hour movie, the amount of story and character depth is really not that much. On stage, you can forgive a lot. You know, most stage musical stories are pretty bare bones and kind of hard to follow, and really it's all just about getting you from one song to another. Just given the medium itself, character development is largely just kind of implied. But when you turn that into a movie, you start to realize just how little there actually is. Like, this movie is very clearly meant for people who want to see the songs on a big screen. It's not a movie version of Wicked, it's a movie version of the musical version of Wicked. And like, this movie is very clearly meant for people who wanted that, and that's fine. You know, as a musical, it's fantastic. It has great songs, they're being sung on these huge sets full of giant green screens, but as a movie, like as a story being told about characters doing things, it's really shallow. Like I said, every character is a concept or an archetype of an idea instead of an actual character that you would want to care about. Like, if you strip away the songs and the flashy CG and the cool architecture and all the fluffy stuff, you're really not left with much, honestly. It's kind of the same thing we had with Dear Evan Hansen a couple years ago, where like, if you only hear the songs, or especially if you go see it on stage, it's like, wow, what an amazing experience. But then when you see it as like a full-fledged movie, you know, it's like, wait a minute, this story's kind of stupid. And like part of the appeal of Wicked is explaining where certain things come from, like the Wicked Witch of the East's shoes that Dorothy takes, or why does the Wicked Witch of the West have a pointy hat or a broom, or like whatever, right? But like the explanation for all this is so stupid. The witch's hat is Galinda's grandma's hat that Galinda hates. Elphaba uses a broom because she just kind of finds one in a closet. You know? She's the Wicked Witch of the West because she kind of flies west a little bit, sort of, kind of. Or like even the origin story of the Yellow Brick Road.
Recently, I've gotten a little stuck trying to figure out what color the bricks of that road ought to be.
Green. Yellow. Maybe purple?
Go back one, please.
The yellow, really?
Yes, it just says road to me.
Sorry. Where did this extremely iconic part of Wizard of Oz come from? I just kind of picked it, I guess. Like, okay, joke's on me for being interested. But all the same, like I said, this movie is made for a very specific demographic of fans. If you wanted a big budget movie version of the musical, like almost exactly, then you're probably having a real good time, as clearly many people are. But as a movie, it's kind of, you know what I mean? Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please watch another one, because that's how the algorithm works. So click on this one that's being recommended to you right now, right here on the screen. It actually helps a lot if you do that, because like that's how YouTube knows that my videos are worth caring about. Also, if you have any movies or TV shows you'd like to recommend, send me an email at alexmyerscontact@gmail.com, and I'll put them on my absurdly long list of movies that I need to get to at some point. Anyway, hope I made your day a little bit better, and I'll see you all next time.